Hey, everybody, good afternoon. Welcome to day 3 of the Georgia HFMA Virtual Spring Payer Forum. We'll give everybody a chance to kind of get connected here. I'll check my messages to make sure we don't have anybody that's struggling to get in. Give everybody just a minute to connect. All right, we'll go ahead and kick this off. Again, I want to welcome all of you to the 2023 Virtual Spring Payer Forum. My name is Bill Ikest. I am a past president of the Georgia chapter of HFMA. We believe that these events are important to continue keeping the dialogue open between some of the key payers around the state. I apologize that we're having to do this virtually again, but it's a format that seems to work pretty well considering everybody's schedules these days. But we do hope at some point to get back to in-person payer forum. So I want to ask you that if you have any questions today, if you would please drop those into the Q&A section on your screen or the chat section on your screen. And if it's about something that's being talked about at the moment, we'll stop and address it. And if it's a general question, we'll probably wait until the end. But we've got Matt Hilgers and Tamisha Townsend today from UHC, United Healthcare, who are going to be presenting for us. And I want to extend a thank you also to Coortis Murkison and her team for their continued support of Georgia HFMA. They're always quick to respond and accept our invitation to participate in this forum. And so I want to thank them for that. But should be some good information covered today. I know you all have questions because I'm out there talking with many of you on a regular basis. Anything at all. Obviously, we don't want to bring up any specific PHI, but if you have any issues at all that you need brought to their attention, we certainly want to do our best to address those today. And if for some reason the people on the panel can't address your question, they'll get us whatever information they can, and I'll be sure to follow up with you. So with that being said, I'm going to go off camera and mute myself, and I'm going to turn it over to Matt from United Healthcare. Thanks, Matt.
There we go. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, so let me go back to share. I'm off mute. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for the introduction, Bill. Let me get started here from the beginning. And can everybody see my screen? So we are going to be presenting. We have a few agenda items that we're going to be talking about today, kind of high-level overview of provider market operations, basically who we are. We're going to look at network management, what their role is. We're going to talk about our Georgia service model and escalation process. We're going to talk about provider portal and resources. We're going to talk about technical assistance, network news, virtual provider education forums, and then we're going to have time for Q&A. So your Georgia Provider Market Operations team that is comprised of us provider market operations account managers is Allison Murray, Kellyanne Adams, Chiquita Belzer, Mark McQuistion, Tamisha Townsend, Justin Forte, Matthew Hilgers, and Patrice Wapples. We also have the manager of our provider market operations account manager team, Coortis Murkison. There is some differences here between provider market operations, us account managers, and what we do and what network management does. So we were previously referred to as advocates or provider relations. We are account managers. So what's in scope for what we do is we provide education and assistance on UHC tools and resources. We do escalation of claims concerns following the UHC service model. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Advocates can be included, but all requests would have to go to that email. We do provide education and assistance in general questions, and we can also initiate claims projects if we identify those. This would apply to participating providers only. Network management or contracting, they do anything with the contracts, negotiate and update existing contracts. If they have any contract load issues or something maybe not be set up correctly, there is that email box, Georgia Network _physicians, that is out there. Network also makes any necessary updates and contract loading and initiate any claims projects that may fall or arise from that. They do provide education on contract language. They provide update full fee schedules. So if you needed a fee schedule for your contract, contracting would be able to provide you that information. They management update any TINs. So if there's any demographic changes, TINs, NPI, billing information that needs to be changes, all of those go through contracting. Interim rate letters, those are for contracted hospitals only. And this applies to participating providers only. Georgia Health Plan information. These are our current offerings that we have for the health plans that we offer in the state of Georgia. So I included the links there. Next slide is we're going to go over the UHC service model. Now, the preferred method when we're talking about service model, we're looking for first steps and issue resolution. So the preferred method is going through that particular provider portal. You could submit claims reconsiderations, requests online through the portal. You include any comments, if there's any other attachments. You would also receive a confirmation that you submitted your reconsideration there. Make sure you document that or get that and write that number down or document that somewhere. You could also check and view statuses and view any comments that are there as well, and update and resubmit requests. The next step is the provider services. Now, there are some limitations to that. They're only open 8 to 5, where the portal is available 24/7. Anything with issue resolution, if you go through provider services, it could take up to 30 days. It really all depends on the complexity of that particular request. So we usually put a benchmark of like 30 days in there, and make sure you obtain a reference number. And then the third method is mail, and you would follow the protocols and steps with your provider administrative guide. UHC escalation process. If you don't agree with your claims reconsideration that you're submitting through the portal, before you submit an appeal, you can contact our provider market operations and have an escalated review done. What we ask for is if you follow that issue resolution and you don't get the answer that you're really looking for, you need a little bit further clarification before you do the appeal, please come to us, because once you submit that appeal, us and any other account managers cannot touch that claim. So just want to make sure that we put that out there for you. We want you to place any claims detailed on this impact claim upload template. There is that Southeast Provider Relations Team email box. Be sure to include any tracking number, reference numbers that you've received, call reference numbers, and any other comments in your expectations of what you're looking for, why necessarily you may or may not agree. You receive an automated email followed by an email with a particular case number. Once that review has been completed, the team needs additional information from you. They will reach out to you directly. And the review times could potentially vary from case, depending on the level of complexity. Here is the sample of that claim upload template that I referred to earlier. Anything that is in yellow would be required with, like, say, for example, your provider TIN, provider name, member information, line of business. That is very, very helpful. Before I was an account manager, I worked in that Southeast Provider Relations team box. So when providers filled this in, that helped me immensely go back through to try to figure out what the issue is and how to resolve it. And with that being said, I'm going to hand this over to Tamisha Townsend, and she's going to take the rest from here. Tamisha, you're up.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Tamisha, we're not hearing you. I'm sorry. We're not getting your sound.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Did
got
that
you.
work? Okay. Sorry about that. So as Matt stated, my name is Tamisha Townsend. I'm a member of the Georgia Provider Market Operations team, and we just wanted to go over and share with you some of our digital solutions. We do have multiple digital solutions to assist providers with their day-to-day operations. Our UHC provider portal being one of our biggest digital tools. Within the portal, you're able to check your claim statuses, get eligibility information, as well as track your work and prior authorizations. There are also a couple of other neat tools within the portal. Go to the next slide, Matt. Within our portal is our document library. The way to access this document library is to use your One Healthcare ID, which is the same One Healthcare ID that you use to log into the provider portal, as well as your password. Within this document library, you have the ability to view and print your own documents, as well as any remittances and letters that you receive from United Healthcare. You can also find documents with advanced searches and any letters. You're also able to do hospital performance-based comp reports within this document library as well. Also housed in our UHC provider portal is the ability to take self-paced learning courses. We also offer instructor-led learning courses within the portal as well. So the way you learn, how you learn, you can choose which option works best for you and your organization. We also have our UHC resources. There are a couple of phone numbers, emails, and web links that are at your convenience for you to use. Another one of the most important parts of this particular slide that we wanted to point out to you is the coding corner. If you have questions regarding codes, we can't tell you how to bill necessarily, but we do have trained professionals who can assist you with your coding needs and claims efforts. And with any digital component, there's always a hiccup here and there. We do offer technical support through our United Healthcare web support. There's also an email that you can send your inquiries to, which is the provider tech support at uhc.com, or you can give us a call. The phone number is included there. There are 2 different tech support options for our EDI exchange support program. There is a different phone number as well as a different email. If you'll take note that is support EDI at uhc.com, and they also have a different phone number as well. We also encourage using our UHC network news and signing up for this feature. You can customize this to your practice, to your needs, to get alerts that are specific and designed for your line of business or your specialty. If you subscribe, you'll receive those updates based on the frequency that you choose. You can do that at uhcprovider.com/subscribe. Another resource that we offer are our virtual provider education forums. They've been set for the remainder of 2023. They do require registration. We have a Tuesday session and a Wednesday session. Those occur every second Tuesday of each month and the second Wednesday of each month. We do want to thank you so much. And if you have any questions, if you will please, I believe Bill would like for us to hold those until the end, but we will be checking the chat for your questions.
Thanks, Demisha. If you'll go ahead and put yourself on mute real quick. I've got just a couple of things. I will make the presentation available to everybody. I'm working with the chapter on how to do that, but please at this time, if you have any questions that you can answer, that would be great. One that I asked of the group, and I don't know if any of you want to comment more specifically on it, but it was announced that this summer that UHC would be, United Healthcare would be reducing some of the prior authorization requirements. I know that just from talking to providers. I know that that's been a big issue, and so I know that's some welcome news. And if there's anything specific that you all can ask on that, I know providers are probably hoping the sooner the better as far as getting some of that resolved and reduced, because I know that continues to be a big pain point, not just with United, but with a lot of payers, is that issue with prior authorizations where procedures are being done that are not requiring an authorization, and then later on an authorization is being requested, and the hospital's kind of caught in the middle. So, obviously they want to build these claims and get paid on them as quickly as possible. So again, anybody out there that has any specific questions today, please, now would be the time to ask those questions. I know you all are dealing with these issues on a daily basis, and if there's anything that these folks can answer or address that would help you. Matt, one of the things I wanted to emphasize from one of your slides was the escalation. I've often told people that if they can, I think you might have taken yourself off. Yeah, put yourself back on mute. I'll let you talk here. Great, thanks. I think it's important for people, as opposed to looking at accounts kind of one by one, is if they've got a big group of accounts that are all related to the same kind of issue. I think it certainly could help them to get that issue addressed on maybe a larger scale, to help not only United Healthcare to understand what the challenges might be, but it would help the hospital obviously not have to call on every single individual account, but if you had a list of, these are the accounts in the last month, the last 60 days, whatever, that we've gotten this error message on or this denial code on, and we're challenging that. It would certainly be good to look for them and for you to look at it collectively, I would think. Do you have any comments on that?
I would say we can go back through and look at that probably holistically and do a larger review. Typically when those go over to that escalation tracker, that's certainly for that template here that we filled out, and if we're seeing kind of a larger theme, a pattern, a trend, we can ask to have a kind of a deeper dive into that. Just mention that within that impact template, and we can take a look at that.
Yeah, I think that would be important. The other thing that I would tell people is that I know in certain markets, it's pretty competitive from provider to provider. You kind of want to keep your rules, your processes, and everything sort of within the walls of your organization. But I would also encourage you, and HFMA is a great resource for this. I would encourage you to connect with your peers at other facilities and find out if they're experiencing some of the same things. And, maybe they have found a solution. Maybe they've found a workaround with some of the issues that you're facing, and they're willing to share some of those things so that so it can be a better process for everybody. We certainly believe in collaboration. I think, obviously together, there's a lot more that can be accomplished. So I would encourage you to do that as well. Again, gosh, I'm not seeing any questions come in, which is really unusual. I know that I don't know that we've ever let your team off, Cordis, without at least one question. So you guys are lucky today, but I appreciate you sharing the information that you shared. And let's give it just a minute here, and we'll see what else. Again, I would emphasize there's a lot of online resources that I know you are encouraging people to use, and we want to remind them to go online. But again, there are people that are designated as your contacts, your payer reps. Make sure you're reaching out to them. Feel free to bring things to the attention of the Georgia chapter and to the Georgia Hospital Association. We can certainly work with you to try to get some resolution to those things. But sometimes you just got to ask for help, and it should be an easier process than it is. But there are so many moving parts and so many variables that make one claim more complex than another. So I would just really encourage you to use all the resources available to you to address those. So,
hey, and Bill, can I say something? Hey, this is Cordis. Thank you all for the opportunity. Again, we always love partnering with you all. And like you said, we do have a lot of resources out there, our online resources, but as you mentioned, there are a team of individuals. I have a team of 8 advocates that I work with. And of course, myself as the manager of those individuals, we are here. So if you're not getting what you need online, definitely outreach to us. And Bill, you have my information. If you get a question later that someone needs additional help, you're more than welcome to outreach to me. And again, my team will always be on the ready to assist as we can. Okay.
Please let our friend Justin Forte know that we're asking about him. He's participated in a lot of these over the years, and so please let him know that we're thinking about him, hoping that he's staying in line. I'm sure you're keeping him in line. And
thank you.
Yeah, we look forward maybe to his participation on future forums. So. Okay, well, I'm going to let y'all off the hook then. I'm not seeing any questions come in. Of course, I might get some after the fact, and I'll certainly pass those along to you. But I want to just emphasize for the people on the call today, Georgia HFMA has a number of resources and a number of events going on. Our upcoming Spring Institute is scheduled for May 3rd through the 5th at the Hotel Avalon up in Alpharetta. We encourage you to go online. We have a new website. I would tell you to just go to hfma.org, go under Discover and find my chapter. Go to the Georgia chapter and it'll click you on the screen to access any events, any other information, the leadership of the chapter. My friend Eric Burgeon is getting ready to wrap up a great year as the president of the Georgia chapter of HFMA, and we'll be welcoming Adam Gobin from Wellstar in as our incoming president of the Georgia chapter. And following behind Adam, taking copious notes, I know, will be my friend Monica Agade. And but we hope to see many of you up in Alpharetta in May, and be looking for some other events. And then the national conference, annual conference for HFMA, of course, is being held in Nashville this year in late June. So be looking for that. That promises to be a great event as well. And I think that Cordis and her team have mentioned they've got some events coming up too. So be sure to check their website for some of that information. But I want to thank everybody again for your participation today. Tomorrow we have Anthem Blue Cross, known as Elevance Health, will be presenting to us from 1 to 2. And then on Friday, we've got Ambetter from 1 to 2 and Humana from 2 to 3. So I hope that you'll make plans to join us then. In the meantime, thank you for your support of Georgia HFMA, and we look forward to your participation in future upcoming events. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.